With the outbreak of World War II, and in particular after the fall of Dunkirk, the ability to defend the coast, including Shaldon, set at the mouth of the River Teign, become of increasing importance. Defences grew to include lookout posts, searchlights, armaments against air and sea attack, and the necessary ancillary buildings to service the units who manned the positions, such as the Artificer's Workshop, Nissan huts as lecture rooms, and a dummy loading hut where they practiced loading guns. Above Ness Beach, there was an observation lookout post and Beaufort guns manned by a light anti-aircraft regiment. Royal Artillery stood where the zoo stands today. A boom spanned the mouth of the river and was closed from the last low tide to sunrise the following day. The remains of these emplacements still survive, and after a valuable insight in this period of Shaldon's history. This is where the 4.7 naval quick-firing gun, made in Japan in about 1917. Each gun had a crew of 7, and the guns were covered by a large wood brick structure, camouflaged like a boathouse. And across the water there you can see the town of Teignmouth, which also housed its own defence, which we'll go into a little bit in just a moment. And there I am smoking my Peterson pipe, and it has GLP's Westminster inside it, which is very nice on this particular day. This is Ness House. It was used as a battery office and as accommodation and a cookhouse for the gun and searchlight crews. Just like the other position where we were just filming, this is another emplacement of the 4.7 naval quick-firing gun. And so they had 2 of these ready to attack enemy aircraft or any ships that would cause us any harm. So Teignmouth had its own anti-aircraft guns and defences and rockets, but obviously this was still a highly civilian place where a lot of people had air raid shelters, and there were places on the green which you just can't see, but they've long since they're not there anymore, but there are some old photos which hopefully I'll be able to get up on screen for you. On this site stood 2 8-barreled anti-aircraft rocket projectors manned by the Royal Artillery. The multiple launch anti-aircraft devices were largely frames holding electronically triggered rockets, known as unrotated projectiles, or UPs, or Uncle Percy's to the military personnel. This is one of 2 buildings, one that I couldn't get to because the road is currently blocked off. These buildings housed sea searchlights, not to be confused with sky searchlights. These are sea searchlights, each with an output of about 210 million candle power. The power for these was supplied by the 2 diesel generators in the engine house. Here's a fun fact, this is the Shaldon Lighthouse, and my father told me that my grandfather actually painted this particular lighthouse every year for a few extra bob, and I always thought that was quite funny, so every time I see it, it reminds me of my granddad. I wasn't 100% sure what this was, but according to the post, what little I could see, I think this is where the chain, the boom that spanned across the estuary or across the mouth, to which they would raise at night time and then lower again in the morning. This was to stop submarines or I think mainly submarines, but submarines and ships from going up and up into the actual estuary and then deeper into the Teign Valley. Along the seawall here, where you can see the outjust just in the distance there. At this point, there stood 6-pound I think they were called Hotchkiss guns. Later, it was replaced by a captured German twin-barreled anti-aircraft machine gun and a 75mm field gun of French origin, which was on hand as an auxiliary weapon. This was the main engine house. This building housed two 22 kilowatt Lister diesel engines, supplying power for all the guns and the searchlights and for the mess. Though sadly, it's quite well overgrown, and they've blocked up all the entrances. Sadly, it's just literally a sarcophagus now. It's a bit of a shame, but I think that it was probably for health and safety reasons. This is the underground munitions bunker, where they would have kept all the ammunition for most of the guns and things like that. I'm not 100% sure whether they would have kept the rockets in there. I think they may have kept them somewhere else, because I would imagine they've been pretty large, and this bunker doesn't look too big. But it's still interesting to see that it still survives to this day. And even looking at the entrance and on the actual surrounding, it doesn't take too much of an imagination to see what it would have been like back in the day, as indeed the whole site. This is the emergency engine house. This was just in case anything happened to the original engine house, and therefore could be used in backup in case the original failed. This is the sergeant's mess, so I would imagine this is where the top wigs would have eaten, and not with the the privates and the like. In a previous video, I did actually film Smuggler's Tunnel, which is just behind Shaldon Zoo. I shall leave a link in the description below if you're interested in watching that. And that's just the lucky wishing well. The main information board there, which tells you all about this particular site and all the continual renovation work that the council keep up, is in recognition of the men of the 362 Coast Battery, also the 555 Coast Regiment Royal Artillery, who manned the searchlight and the equipment, and the local men of the number 17 Gunners Platoon, C Company, 9th Home Guard Battalion, and the Devonshire Regiment. And it was also in memory of Robin Mull.